If you guys want to cop a Scuf controller, my code is actually doubled to 10% off from now until December 2nd. Use code Upshall. Hey, what is going on, my dudes? Welcome to the video. I want to give you guys a quick comparison on a DualShock 4, a Scuf Infinity, which is what I use and love to use, which I basically play with claw grip, and a 4-paddle Scuf controller, the Scuf Impact. What would be the best controller for you to use, and why using either Scuf or a claw grip is so important. One or the other you really need to try and switch to if you've not done so already, and we're going to get into why in the video. Also going to show you guys, if you do choose to opt to go with a Scuf controller or a paddled controller in general, I'm going to show you guys how to set it up, the two most important binds, as well as some bonus ways you can set up your paddles to get the optimum performance and keep clapping them cheeks on the sticks. Now, the difference between the regular DualShock 4 and the Scuf Infinity, even though they visually look similar, is very close. I don't currently have the paddles equipped on it because I'm using this for my claw grip demo, but you can put up to 2 paddles on the Infinity, and it has pretty much the exact same profile as the DualShock 4 with one exception. The actual joysticks are just a little bit longer, and you can opt to get longer ones as well. They're longer, they're a little bit wider, and they're a lot grippier. And I really like the feel of the joysticks on the Scuf Infinity a lot better. They are a premium, it is a premium controller, but it definitely gives it that premium feel. Now, the biggest reason I think that you should at least try to learn a claw grip or use a Scuf has got to do with your movement. And really, that's what the biggest thing that's elevated when you change to either using a claw grip or using a Scuf is your movement is increased tremendously. Now, there's a lot of different ways your movement improves, but the most important thing is your ability to hit your build button and your jump button while keeping your thumb on the joystick. Now, I've seen some people do some pretty weird stuff where they actually will keep their thumb on the joystick and knuckle their jump button and stuff, and even somehow hit their build menu with the bottom of their finger. I don't think that's the most clean way to play, and the problem that results from that is that you're actually kind of moving your thumb around to try and hit your buttons, and that's kind of throwing off your dexterity. Not to mention, I think out of anything, that's probably the hardest thing on your wrist, and it will probably lead to some hand pain, especially if you're playing Fortnite for long periods of time. You can also just straight up take your thumb off of the joystick whenever you go to jump. But I used to play this way, and honestly, it's really terrible. Just giving an example here, if I have the jump and then hit my build button, I'm not able to angle my builds in a way that I want to at all, and it significantly impacts your ability to build, man. And again, just your 90s in general, which is the #1 way to gain height. If you're talking about building up and jumping, we'll do a very simple 90 so you can see it here. But in order to hit that timing, I really need to be hitting my X button with my index finger to be able to hit that jump, and do so consistently. Other things that really matter is just being able to jump out, hit a shot on somebody, and then build again. And again, to me, that's not physically possible to do unless you're some kind of freak show with 18 fingers to be able to do that without using a claw grip or a paddle grip. It's called the Tfue Classic, just an example, which to me is integral to your ability to be dominant and aggressive in your build fights. And that's just jumping out, getting a shot off, and then building a floor and a ramp. Or even just a floor. But either way, you need to be able to jump, get an accurate shot, and then hit your build button. Which when you have to keep your thumb on your joystick, to me that becomes impossible. Just to give you guys an example of what it looks like real quick. So you guys out here, right? And I'm able to get a shot in from his end. If he's looking up at me, he's probably going to be seeing me for a millisecond. And again, that's just one thing that doesn't really work unless you're using either paddles or a claw grip. Now, the reason I play claw on a Scuf Infinity is because, honestly, this thing just performs so much better than the regular DualShock 4 controller. When you're playing on PC, the input lag is incredibly different. The other thing I did as well is I upgraded the bumpers to be digital. So basically, these give a mouse click. I don't know if you can hear that. You can kind of hear it, but it's basically a mouse click response. It's much faster, so my crouching is so much faster. I also toggle back and forth on my bumper as well, and I use it for my edits to confirm my edits. It makes my edits lightning fast ever since I switched, which is incredible, man. If you already play Claw Grip, dude, the Scuf Infinity, do not underrate this thing, especially if you're a controller on PC player. It's incredibly good, dude. It's honestly, it's mental how much better it is as a jump from the DualShock 4 to the Scuf Infinity. Now, if you want to play Claw Grip, I would definitely recommend, in my opinion, if you're coming from using the PS4, I would use the Scuf Impact. This thing has the same layout as the DualShock 4 with regards to the horizontal joysticks. It fits in your hand pretty much the same way, but it has 4 paddles on the back. Now, I have one of them off already. They're super easy to slip on or off. So all you got to do is just slip it to the side and kind of click it in. Boom. And now we got our paddle back attached again. But we're going to unattach it because I personally don't use 4 paddles when I use this. I really liked it, but it was kind of hard to break my claw grip habits. If I were you and I were coming in from a normal grip, I personally would cop the Impact and learn 4 paddles. I think that's overall got a lot more utility to it, and I'll explain why. Because you can set it up. And again, what I talked about was the X and the circle button being very, very important to hit on claw grip. Well, you can set 2 paddles to that, basically whatever you're comfortable with. You can set as one as an X button, one as a circle button, but you can also bind your edit to triangle and then bind one of the back paddles to triangle. What this will allow you to do is it will allow you to jump, to build, and to edit, all without sacrificing your controller movement, which is incredibly good, right? Like being able to move, select edits without ever sacrificing your movement is so incredibly strong. And to me, that's the #1 benefit of picking up a Scuf controller, man. In my opinion, it's just, I feel like you'll hit a skill ceiling using a regular DualShock 4 controller before you'll hit it with a Scuf, just because your movement will get so impaired by having to like manage all these binds. As Fortnite has advanced and advanced and advanced, there's just been more and more binds added in, which is a great thing for the game and a great thing for controller players. And that is why I've seen like controller players kind of explode a little bit more in the competitive scene. But really, I think if you want to enter that next level, that next skill ceiling for you, either switching to claw, which I think is much more difficult, might cause you wrist pain, or switching to using a Scuf with a paddle controller is the wave, man. I would definitely recommend doing that. Now, if you do plan on copying either the Scuf Infinity or the Scuf Impact, I do have a discount code. It is code Upshall, and for right now, it's actually doubled. It is 10% off from now until December 2nd. So if you are thinking about buying a Scuf, now is an excellent time to do so. It is the biggest my code has ever been on a discount. And again, I would say Scuf Impact, if you've never played Claw before and you're looking to elevate your game, your #1 choice, in my opinion. If you play Claw, I would definitely consider copying the Scuf Infinity, just because being able to set your digital bumpers to increase your response time is huge. The joysticks are an incredible upgrade, and again, it's just playing with overall less input lag. The controller just straight up runs way better than the DualShock 4. My setup as well, I don't have any short stop triggers, but you can set that up as well. You can actually make the triggers digital as well if you want to. I didn't personally get that option just because I like the feeling of like a more triggery trigger. I don't know if that makes sense. And for the Scuf Impact, again, I would say the same setup. You get your 4 paddles and you get the digital bumpers. I think that's really key and goes a long way to improve your game. And just, it overall tightens up everything, and it just makes your movement so silky smooth, man. This thing get more accurate overnight for me or something? I swear, bro, it's been missing like crazy, and all of a sudden it's just hitting shots. Oh my god. Oh my god, man. Legit claps only, dude. Alright, that's a little weak. Hey, GG's, man. Alright, I want that. Oops. And that right there. Bingo bango. Let's go get some fish and let's keep rolling, dude. Chilling, boys. Uh-oh. Let me get this off, please. Thank you. What is this guy doing? What are you doing, man? Oh my god. What are you doing? I'm really confused by this guy's maneuvering right now. Hey, GG's, man. Who is sniping at us from deep right now? It's time to stop, dude. Alright, 13 kills, dude. 7 still alive. We can still drop the 20 bomb. Unlikely, but we can get it, dude. Lose aim just as soon as he hits the bush. Tough. Just killed me over the singularity. Hey, GG's, man. I can't see this kid, man. This is really annoying. Bro, how are you not dying? And how'd you not eat more damage than that, too? So many questions, man. Burning a lot of mats, just trying to close the distance on these guys. Oh my god, get out of here, baby. This is annoying. The amount of rockets that have gone off in this fight is absolutely ridiculous. What's up, baby? All right, bro. Let's go, dude. Oh, man. Throwing the shots, dude. Throwing them.